that?
Yep.
All right. It's gonna go back on the record. Parker Landing Lane, PB 202603, 501 Easton Avenue. The applicant proposes a new independent living and assisted living facility on block 437, lot 8.01. The new facility will provide 109 independent living units, 30 assisted living units, and 32 memory care units, for a total of 171 units. The building will be a total of 14 stories and structured parking and a rooftop mezzanine. Thomas F. Kelso, Esquire.
Members of the board, Thomas F. Kelso on behalf of the applicant, Parker Health Group Incorporated. I'm pleased to be before you this evening on what is really an exciting project by a very credible and long-time, well-known operator of these facilities. It's a process that we've gone through the city and you as the planning board. This is actually the culmination of the development of the Parker Landing Lane redevelopment plan, and my client is the designated redeveloper for the project. And it's been a long time coming in the sense of developing the plans and being able to design and engineer it to get us to where we are this evening. I'm pleased to have a few witnesses with us today, which first I would like to introduce Mr. Roberto Muniz, who's here. He's the longtime CEO of Parker. I think many of the members of the public are familiar with him and the work that Parker's done. It's my intention to call 3 witnesses for you this evening, and we'll be calling the Chief Operating Officer of Parker to provide testimony to give you an overview of Parker, its role in the community, and the vision for this particular facility. I will also call our civil engineer, Mr. Christian Roche, and also we will provide testimony from our architect, Mr. Eric Cole. I would indicate, as the board is aware, we have submitted a detailed traffic report as part of a responsibility as the applicant, and I do have here this evening Mr. Eric Valoria to answer any questions that the board may have with regard to that report or the members of the public, rather than do any type of testimony since you've already had the report submitted as part of the record. Once again, as an overview, this is a long-standing site for the Parker homes. I think, as the board knows, this was the original location of the first Parker home, and there are now others in the region. This is I guess a complete come-around now for approximately 100 years, and making this facility a state-of-the-art facility, providing different types of services in a brand-new facility that is designed specifically for this purpose. So with that as an overview, I would call Ms. Beth Sparling for testimony.
Just before that, is there any member of the board or board professionals that have a conflict with this application? Okay. We'll still have enough.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Okay. Again, I call Beth Sparling for testimony.
Can you please state your name and spell your last name for the record?
Beth Sparling.
Can you spell your last name
Oh,
for the record?
sorry, Sparling.
Do you swear or affirm to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Beth, again, I did introduce you, I believe, as the Chief Operating Officer of Parker, is that true?
Yes, I've been there for about 8 years.
Okay. And in that capacity, you certainly are familiar with the proposal before the board this evening in many aspects, operation, development, and so forth, correct?
I am.
Okay. I think it would be nice if the board heard from you what the vision of this site is, and the various thought processes that go into it, and give us an overview, if you will, operationally of what is engaged here, the different types of uses that we have, and give us just a sense of the operational components of that.
Sure. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I think what would really help with better understanding Landing Lane is to understand us as an organization, because this property particularly is about how we connect as a community and is what we call a continuum of care. As you heard so far already this evening, as Parker, we're celebrating 120 years next year as being a proud member of New Brunswick with our community here at Landing Lane on Easton Avenue, where we currently provide services for 45 residents. Landing Lane is part of a variety of different communities that are in the area, as we currently have 4 nursing homes. Landing Lane, as well as our community in Somerset, which is a long-term care and post-acute community. And we also have Parker at River Road and also Parker at Monroe, providing the capacity to serve on any given day 350 residents for long-term care and post-acute services. Additionally, we also have an assisted living community in the town of Highland Park, which we have the capacity to serve up to 80 residents there. Something that we take tremendous pride in is our deep commitment to those in the local area and to provide what we call very person-directed care. Putting the resident and the family and our care partners first and making sure that it is a seamless experience for them to live. Through our experience we've had over the last 20 years, some sizable growth and some of the properties that we've currently mentioned this evening, where we have personally been put a team of individuals together to manage the project. We have also self-funded those projects and have done a very deliberate job of understanding of how these communities work together, which I'll talk about very shortly. We also serve about 10,000 people in the state of New Jersey that live in their homes, recognizing that living in a group environment, maybe for some but not for all, but it's to make sure that they know that no matter where they live, they will be able to provide healthcare services. And as we're really proud, being here in New Brunswick, have been long-standing partners, and being a good neighbor is really important to us, and have taken great pride to contribute to many different, if it be Dial-A-Ride or the senior center, and want to continue to do that going forward. What I thought would really be helpful, because when it comes to healthcare, it can be needs a kind of a decoder ring sometimes of what the levels of care are. So to talk about the project, which is independent, assisted living memory care, I thought I'd just give you a little background. Independent living is someone who typically drives, is anywhere from 75 to 80 years old. They live independently as if they would in their home right now. They do have the option of being able to maybe have some supportive services. We have a medical clinic, we will have a health and wellness and longevity center, variety of meals and amenities. And those residents come and go, and they will have apartments in which they will be able to select to live in. In assisted living is kind of a independent living with supportive services. Those residents still can drive. Typically, they may move in with a car, but over time that they would use our transportation. And with that, they have availability of someone that can assist them with dressing, bathing, or changing through the day, but that is optional. There are some people that still work, that still drive, but like the comfort of having people that are there should they're having a bad day or need some additional support. Assisted living memory care, which we will also have in the community, is those that are able to be more independent, don't drive, but provide a little higher level of care, but still can do some things on their own. It is not a nursing home that exists there now, which provides a higher level of care, greater staffing, as well as 24-hour nursing services. Though assisted living will have a nurse there, it is not a nursing home that is more dependent on the team. What you will find in the community is that compared to Landing Lane now, when it comes to those that work there, the staffing is about the same. We have about the same as we call care partners rather than staff, but our care partners, it's about the same number, but it's going to be less on the evening times and less on the weekends because it's a hospitality model. It's not the 24-hour nursing care that you would find that at Landing Lane now. So those are some significant differences. What is unique about this property compared to our other communities is because it has the 3 different levels of living. It also is offered to be able to utilize any of our other communities that we have that are nearby that I mentioned in Somerset and Highland Park and Piscataway.
We might just want to touch upon one of the comments in the planning report, and that is the idea of a relocation plan for when construction will begin. Just want to touch on that.
Yeah, you know, this is, as with our past projects, particularly most recently at Parker at Somerset, if you're familiar with that project, which we did a sizable construction in which residents needed to move within the property, as well as we are currently doing a project down in Monroe on one of our communities already in existence. And intentionality and the person-directed approach is so important to us. We are in the relationship work, and what is important to us is that the residents are cared for. We take great pride with we're fortunate to have other local homes in which we plan for the residents to be transitioned to those locations. Our plan will have very intentional opportunities in which we would have availability in those locations where those residents can move to.
And I think I guess that's work that starts maybe a year or so before you actually are in a position to start taking the building down.
You are correct.
I have no further questions for Beth.
Any member of the board or board professionals have any questions for this witness? Saying none.
Thank you.
Thanks, Beth. This time I will call Kristen Roach for testimony.
Please state your name, spell your last name for the record.
Sure, it's Christian Roach, R-O-C-H-E.
Do you swear or affirm to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Mr. Roach, you have been before this board before, correct?
I've been here 4 out of the last 5 months. I'm starting to run out of suits to wear.
Have your credentials changed in any way since the last time you were before us?
They have none.
And you're still licensed in the state of New Jersey?
Correct.
All right, we'll accept you as an expert.
Thank you. So I'll start by marking the first exhibit. It's entitled Site Aerial with today's date. We'll mark it as A1. So the project site we're going to talk about tonight is identified as Block 437, Lot 8.01 on the city tax map. It's approximately 2.3 acres and is generally bound by Parkview Drive and residential uses to the north, the city park to the east, Easton Avenue to the south, and Landing Lane to the west. The site is presently occupied by the Parker at Landing Lane Senior Home, which is accompanied by 50 surface parking stalls with access to the property being provided both off of Easton Avenue as well as Landing Lane. There is a fairly significant grade change across the site. Elevations are highest in the eastern portion of the site, and then they slope down by about 20 feet to the Landing Lane side of the property. As our attorney noted, the project site is entirely within the Parker Landing Lane redevelopment plan area, and we have a fully conforming application with that redevelopment plan here this evening. So I'm going to move to accepting the exhibit that I'm going to mark as A2. It's entitled Parker at Landing Lane Plan Rendering, again with today's date. It really is a colored version of the site layout plan that was submitted as part of our site plan application package. What the applicant is proposing to construct on the property is a multi-story building, which is going to contain 109 independent living units, 30 assisted living units, and 32 memory care units, as well as structured parking. In total, the building is going to be 14 stories, which 2 of those levels will be reserved for the structured parking. The building is going to have a footprint of approximately 39,610 square feet, and in total, it will provide 416,300 gross square feet. Site access to the property is going to be provided off of Easton Avenue as well as Landing Lane. Both of these areas will provide access to the structured parking, and they both have drop-off areas as well. One thing that's changing from the existing conditions, though, is we are providing vehicular movements through the garage, meaning that if you enter from Easton Avenue, you now have the capability to leave via Landing Lane, and vice versa. If you enter via Landing Lane and you prefer to depart via Easton Avenue, Avenue, there's circulation within the structured parking area that allows for that. Lastly, we're proposing pedestrian sidewalks, new sidewalks, I should say, along Landing Lane as well as on Easton Avenue. From an overall parking compliance perspective with the redevelopment plan, the redevelopment plan parking requirements dictate 1 parking stall for independent living unit, 0.5 spaces for each assisted living unit, and then they require 45 spaces for employees and 40 for visitors. If you do the math on the unit mix I provided previously, 209 parking stalls are required, whereas the application is complying with that by providing 209 stalls. We're also meeting the requirements for ADA parking as well as EV parking requirements. I should note too, with the visitor stalls, those will also be readily available for motorists coming into the site. They won't be behind any type of security gate, so there'll be no queuing. If you're a visitor, you go directly to parking with no restrictions. Loading and trash operations are going to be provided in a dedicated loading area, which is accessible off of Landing Lane. The way we've designed the loading area is to allow for all of the turning movements to be done on the property. And most importantly, we're not going to be trying to back in any type of vehicles off of Landing Lane. All those movements will be done on site. The loading area has been designed to handle WB40 tractor trailers. Those tractor trailers have a trailer length around 33 feet, so we're not talking WB67s with the 53-foot trailers. This is more of a mid-sized delivery vehicle. Trash operations will also be handled in this area. We're proposing a compactor, and those trash operations will involve pickups as necessary throughout the week, probably 2 or 3 each week. Stormwater management, the project's been designed to comply with both the city and state standards. We are reducing impervious coverage from existing conditions, but we're also going to be proposing an underground detention system and green infrastructure rated mechanical treatment devices. The reason for that is although we meet the city and state requirements, without those, we are within a Delaware and Raritan Canal review zone, and we anticipate that those will be required to meet the DRCC requirements. Utilities are pretty straightforward. It's typical players in New Brunswick. City will be providing water and sewer service. PSE&G will be providing electric and gas service. I will note though that we are proposing a generator at the northeast corner of the building. That generator will have an enclosure around it to make sure we're meeting both the state and city noise requirements. Landscaping, we are proposing 100 new trees along with 228 new shrubs. The vast majority of the landscaping is focused around the site perimeter between the proposed building and existing residential uses, as well as new street trees along Landing Lane and Easton Avenue. We did respond to one of the planning and engineering comments. If there's a shortfall in the amount of new landscaping compared to the tree removal calculations, any deficit would be made up through a contribution to the city's tree fund. Site lighting is fully compliant with the redevelopment plan. We're proposing to hit the required lighting levels through 12-foot high poles rather than typical larger poles. The reason for the 12-foot poles is to try and make sure we don't have any additional spillover. And I shouldn't say try, we will not have any additional spillover onto any of the adjacent properties using the 12-foot high light fixtures. So I had the opportunity, we did I'll call it a community workshop meeting. It was probably around 18 months ago to meet with some of the neighbors. I have had detailed discussions with Ann. She's the property owner most close to the site development, and we did agree on a few things. Ann has reviewed our latest plans, and she's certainly welcome if I misstate anything to chime in. But what we agreed to specifically was we had proposed some giant green arborvitaes, and had asked, would you mind if I make some of those plant selections? It'll be something similar. We have no objection to working with the neighbor on what those plant selections are. We also agreed to coordinate the fence color. I think I called out bright white, which was, I'll say, less than desirable from Ann's perspective. So we agreed to go with a more neutral color that Ann will dictate to us. We agreed to meet all applicable noise requirements. As a condition of approval, we're certainly willing to submit an acoustic study showing that we meet the applicable noise requirements. And then lastly, there's a little bit of a unique situation with the drainage in place right now. There's a pipe system that comes from the park, and then when it gets to the 2 adjacent residential properties, it opens up into a ditch and then enters a pipe system again. There was a request to potentially fill this ditch just to allow for more usable backyard space. The applicant has no problem filling that ditch as long as there's not significant NJDEP permits associated with it, which I don't think there will be because the ditch drains less than 50 acres. It's been rerouted previously, but again, the applicant has no problem doing that for the neighbors and last thing I have, Mr. Kelso, is we did review the engineering and planning letters. Jamie and I had a conversation earlier this week. We have no objection to complying with any comments in those letters.
I have no questions for Chris, if the board wishes to direct questions.
Any member of the board professional, any questions?
Just a quick one. Mr. Roach, do you anticipate that, you comply in terms of parking, you're 100% compliant. Realistically, you anticipate that all of the residents will be parking in the parking structure on the site? Right? There's no possibility of street parking.
Agreed. If you,
Right.
yeah, I'm sure everyone's been around there. There's no possibility of street
Right.
parking. It is assigned when we do the.
That was my question. My follow-up was, is there a process you assign parking spaces to units?
I'll defer to the Parker.
Okay.
Yes, that's,
Perfect.
they
So,
will be parking inside.
perfect. So, Mr. Chair, technically, again, you have a residential building in a residential zone, so theoretically, there could be the possibility of those residential permits. So again, we would recommend to you that
Yeah, we would
residential permits.
agree with.
Thank you.
Mr. Roach, the generator for the whole building, is it gonna, will it be able to use the whole capacity for the building, to generate the whole building of power building? Oh, which I wait for the,
I was referring to the article.
Okay.
He's looking
No
back
problem.
at me, so. We'll be in Hampton in 5 minutes. So
No problem.
That's fine.
So, Mr. Chair, too, if I may, just the one other item that was testified to, because you have a backup generator relatively close to residential properties, you might want to just get some testimony on when it's going to be tested, for how long it's going to be tested, and what that's going to sound like, so that the neighbors don't get, at least the inconvenience is minimal in terms of when and how long it's going to run.
We'll provide testimony through.
okay, thank you. Any other questions on board professionals? Seeing none, the next witness, please.
At this time, I call Mr. Eric Crowe for testimony.
Can you please state your name, spell your last name for the record?
Yeah, Eric Kroll, same K-R-U-L-L.
Do you swear or affirm to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Eric, you are a licensed professional architect of the state of New Jersey, is that correct?
That is correct.
And in that capacity, you are familiar with the plan development for the landing lane facility from an architectural aspect?
Yes.
Could you give the board the benefit of your professional qualifications and experience?
Yes. I'm currently with THW Design, located in Atlanta, Georgia. We do nationally and internationally nothing but senior living. Our firm's been doing that for over 35 years in its 70-year history. I personally have been doing senior living ever since college for my thesis. My entire career has been doing communities like this as high as 52 stories to very low scale, over 1,000 acres. So I've got quite a bit of experience.
You do.
Have you testified before boards?
Not before you, no, but others.
Okay. We will accept you as a professional architect.
Thank you.
Eric, if you would, rather than me asking specific questions, I would ask you to go through all the architectural components of the facility. And feel free to use the exhibit, including the elevations and the floor plans, give the board a sense of it. And to the extent that you're able to try to answer the questions that Todd presented with regard to the testing of the generator.
Very good. I will start with the exterior, and then I don't have all 14 floors. We'll give you about 2 or 3 samples of the building. We're going to start with Easton Avenue, just to give you a flavor. Landing lane is off to the left here.
Can you turn it this way? The former planner of the city was always sensitive about that in the city of the back.
That was why, probably. Can you see it all right? Okay. Landing lane off to the left, and Easton Avenue to the foreground right here.
Sorry, Katie, could you mark that A, please?
Yep. And that's submitted with the city. The tower is about 172 feet in height. The first floor, which is facing Easton, is the entry to, you heard what Beth was talking about, the lifestyle, the independent living. This level right here has a lot of the community spaces for the residents. It would have the entry with a reception area, administrative area. It also has a coffee shop and some other common spaces that the entire home would be able to use with mail and marketing offices. On the next floor, which is 2, that houses some of the memory care that Beth described. There's actually 2 floors, the second and third floor, they stack. They have an outdoor memory garden for the residents that's secured. Off to the right is the dining room for the independent living, which also has an auditorium and some other support spaces, some community spaces for them as well. The next floor has, half of it is the memory care over here, and pretty much in this zone of the building has the healthcare, which is the memory care assisted living. All the way up to the 6th floor, which is this level right here. That is where the independent living starts. And I'll show you in the floor plan how you move vertically through the building. Then on the 7th floor is the wellness floor. Half of it is wellness and some more independent living that overlooks the park. And then moving from the 7th floor all the way up to the top floor here, which is the 12th floor, is all independent living. And then the very top is an amenity space. There's some dining up there and some more activity spaces for pretty much anybody to enjoy in the community. I'm going to turn up to the next floor, which is A4. I'll label that A4. This is the landing lane. You heard Chris mention earlier the service area in the back. Not only is the service area here protected by this retaining wall and all the shrubbery that we're going to put in here and the evergreens, it is also shielded by another row of landscape here that allows the entry into the healthcare. And what I'm calling the healthcare would be the assisted living and memory care entry. So we have, because of the grade change between Landing Lane and Easton, it laid out a very nice secured entry point in the back for staff and visitors coming into the healthcare building to come up through an elevator in the center of the building, and then the independent living on Manning Lane. So we're using that grade change right here to distinguish the 2 entry points. There's an entry into the parking garage here, and on the Landing Lane there was also an entry on the back that I didn't point out, but you can get in from both the back and the front into the building from a secured parking garage. Again, down here is the assisted living memory care entry, and then right here is the first floor. We're 1 floor down, so that's the entry on the independent living, which then you come up to these floors right here, which is assisted living, and these 2 floors here, memory care. Then this is that first floor of independent living that comes across. This is that wellness floor that has, in this area right here, this is where the gym is, there's exercise, there's program spaces that you can go outside onto a terrace. Bless you. And over in this area, from the 7th floor up, is all the independent living that looks out to the west and the north. And this is the top amenity deck on the very back here. We've got some mechanical that we're going to be shielding with louvers and things on this floor, as well as down here. You can kind of see it where we're hiding some of that. I'm going to go to the last rendering. I'll mark that as exhibit A5. this is the overlook of the park that's literally looking downtown. And the park is right here in the foreground right here. And you can just see up here on the second floor, which is where the dining room is. And then you've got independent living in this zone. And again, some of the facade right here, a lot of large glazing overlooking the park. We've also took some end zones here to give it some architectural character, knowing that it's really the front door coming into the city. So we've got a mixture of precast stone that we're using. We're also looking at some metal panel, just to give you some ideas of some of the character. We haven't worked that all out, so it needs to have some very durable materials, being a high rise. And a lot of the units, you'll see we've got balconies. Right now, we're looking at a variety of, whether it's aluminum or some glazing for maybe the top, but we haven't worked out those details. So we'll have a mixture of storefront windows, the colors being worked out right now as more of a light, so the building has more of a light character as a backdrop to the park and the city in general. A lot of our concepts, you've heard words like facility. This is not a facility, this is the resident's home, so we come at it with a very residential feel, really designing from the inside out because of the care and the love that Parker puts into the community. So even down to the nurses station area, we like to say, I don't have a nurses station in my own home, so a lot of times we're designing the inside to be a living room environment. You know, very well appointed, not shiny wax floors, but something that's got a very residential hospitality feel to it that you heard Beth talk about the lifestyle change from what's currently there. So with that, I'm gonna walk into the floor plans and just walk you up the building on a few floors. I'm up to Exhibit A6, and I'll start with that on Easton Avenue, which is the main entry into the independent living. At this level, right here is where you would come in, whether you're visiting or dropping a guest off, you would come right here to the front door that comes in. It may feel like a hotel because of the porte-cochere there. You keep the rain and snow off. Then residents that live here would turn right to go into the parking garage that's in this zone. It goes down 2 levels. Guests would come in to the left. That is not secured. This is secured. This allows visitors to come in and park in this area and come into the building to visit loved ones. In the center of the building, we have 5 elevators. One's dedicated to a lot of the service, so you've got the service running in the background while the general public is in this elevator lobby right here. We were meeting all code requirements for all of our stair towers. We've got them sprinkled throughout the building. There's actually a total of 5 stairs, all pressurized for the high-rise code requirements. The generator that we talked about earlier, it's sitting back here. It will run once a week. Currently, the exact same operations that they have. We're somewhere between 50 to 75% of the building will be able to be under that emergency power. We're just going through the analysis. We'll end up, but for sure, of course, all life safety is going to be covered, and we're going above and beyond because of some of the services and care they provide. Going to go up to floor number 2, which I'm going to label A7. That floor has the first floor of everything in purple is the memory care. So as you come up and you're visiting a loved one, you would come up this set of elevators here and you would move to the left. It's a secure unit. This actually has the memory terrace garden outside to the left, and the dining and the kitchen area for their dining is right off that service elevator that I mentioned earlier. So all the back house operations happens in this area. The other half of the building that's yellow is the dining and the main kitchen and the auditorium, multi-purpose for the residents for large town hall meetings, whether it's staff or resident performances and things like that happen on this floor. And I'm gonna take you up to one of the typical floors with independent living. I'm gonna label that Exhibit A8. On that floor, this gives you a sense of, I mentioned earlier, the terrace on the 7th floor, which is part of the wellness program. Again, the center of the building, the elevators, you can come up and down from the different locations that go to the wellness here, which also has a clinic and also a spa area and a beauty salon, all functions that you would typically see in a CCRC. And then the independent living is all the green area on this floor, and then it goes all the way up the building now to the top floor, which is all independent living on this side. This spaces the park right here, so you can see right off here. And then the entry is down on the page, which is Easton Avenue. And then the last exhibit, I'm gonna label it A9. It is the amenities floor on the top. And on that floor, it's a destination dining venue and another area that would have a kitchen supporting that. And a lot of our mechanical is up in this area that we will be putting up louvers and things, both from noise and also just visual from this deck. Stairs coming up, we meet all the code requirements for having any kind of a load up here for residents. And again, the 5 elevators that come up to this one service area. That takes care of the mechanical and the back of house, as well as the 4 here for the resident use. So with that, I try to be brief, Tom, and that's pretty much everything I have.
Just one question I have for you. I don't know if you mentioned about the package delivery and packaging. Where would that be located for everyone?
Yeah, right now, the package delivery is down in the 1st floor lobby right here. Amazon deliveries and things would come into here. And there's actually mailboxes that you would see that you go down and get your personal mail and also any kind of deliveries.
Hey, just speaking of deliveries, I don't remember if Chris covered it. Deliveries into the facility for food and other types of things, where does that take place?
Right back here in this loading dock right here, we have you'll find housekeeping, storage, all the food deliveries for the kitchen pops right into this service elevator that I mentioned right here that's dedicated, so we can take it straight up to the floor above, and it's totally separated from the public.
I have no further questions, sir.
Any member of the board professionals have any questions for this?
Is the layout of all the apartments the same, like the assisted living versus the independent living apartments?
No. When you're in memory care, think of it as a small hotel room, or if you've been into the existing nursing home, there's basically a bathroom that has a shower in there, and the room might be about 300 to 350 square feet, and there's a lot of extra care that we take into account. For example, you want to cue residents at night where the toileting is. A good design, you can see where the toilet is from your bed area. So there's some very, very specific nuances that we take into account in designing memory care. Assisted living, sometimes they're a little bit bigger, a small studio, but a lot of times they're a very nice small 1-bedroom unit that might be in the 600, 700, 800 square foot range. When you get to independent living, some of them are actually very nice, 2 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, and they're very much probably like a condo that you might have over on the park. Not that I've been in those, but it's got a nice kitchen that you might see in a condo here. So the residents coming under your community are transitioning into an environment that's very much a home, and they get very comfortable, because you may have a loved one that's down in memory care, and you may be in independent living, or maybe you may be even sharing services on assisted living.
Mr. Kroll, have you had an opportunity to review our memo dated May 8th? You don't have to open it up. I'll walk you through it.
Walk me through it. You got a lot of paperwork I've been getting from Chris.
Okay.
Yeah.
One of the things that we asked for, based upon your testimony, you're looking to make this like the Easton Ave, like a hotel entry. you were looking to put a water feature out there. Can you give any kind of description for that?
Yeah, it conceptually right now, the parking is under there, so we haven't fully developed it. But we do want, when you arrive, there's a sense of tranquility, it picks up on the park. This has been important storytelling for our client. How do we bring the outside in? Instead of coming up into a very institutional hospital setting, this is a home. So something you might see there, will the water be totally like that? It may even be art and landscape. We're trying to warm it up. It's all about the senses. When you arrive, you might hear music, and the senses brings kind of a calmness down, especially if you've got a loved one in memory care. You know, it's very high anxiety, as we all may know. If you've got anybody that you know with memory services that need accommodated for.
Thank you. One of the other questions I had, I know Mr. Roach had told me that, you know, garbage is gonna be stored down by the loading dock inside the building. How is trash handled within the building from like the independent living, let's say?
Yeah.
Is there trash chutes or is there just a
There's not a
routine pickup?
trash chute, but what we've got is trash rooms, so they have, kind of like a hotel. They have staff that will do housekeeping, collect the trash to one central location. We'll use this service elevator so that it's behind the scenes, take it down to the very lowest level at the loading dock, and it will go over, because it's in the back here, and it goes right into this zone right here on the lower floors, right in that area. It's that piece that's coming across here. So that allows everything back in house. We're trying to separate from the public.
With regard to the generator, some of these enclosures can be very unsightly, institutional, to say that, and that's not something that you're looking to do. Do you have any thought of giving some aesthetics to it?
Yes, and if, when Chris was saying that green line right there, right now, we're looking at that as a total.
Just walling it right in?
Yeah, trying to make it as hidden as possible, that most people that see it may be seeing it from actually the air from up high. So we're trying at ground level to disguise that. Generally, you know, they come in yellow or
White.
Yeah, sometimes I've been able to get them in green. So
Like
if
an
we have
earth
a
tone?
line, yeah, if we have a lot of the evergreens, we might be able to, you know, look into possibly getting a, you know, color that blends in.
And last question, can you describe to the board, you know, we discussed at the TAC meeting, the 7th floor deck and screening that from the residents. Can you give a little testimony on what you're proposing?
Yeah, and I wasn't at that TAC meeting. I had a colleague working on this, an architect with me. Can you just elaborate a little bit on the screening of our residents or neighbors?
To the neighbors,
To the
from
neighbors.
the deck.
So
Thank
anybody?
you for asking these questions.
So,
Being the neighbor.
the top of the 7th floor, perspective-wise, you actually won't see much because it's so high by the perspective.
It's more of having the residents look down into their backyard
The residents up here looking down there, yes.
from that patio.
So, right now you saw where we've got labeled planters. It's just as important to our client that we create that comment about bringing the outdoors in. Since it is an urban solution, all we have is terraces to try to warm up the building and bring in greenery. So we definitely plan on doing it there, and also on the top floor, you saw some things where we've got planters. Some of this, where we say architectural louver and screen walls, we've got to be respectful for what you can do mechanically. You can only cover up so much because we need free air, otherwise the equipment won't work on the building. So we're going to do everything we can to screen that as possible with the architectural louvers. And the green stuff would just be on the terrace area.
So the question is, planters is very broad. You could have a 12-inch planter box, you could have a 30-inch planter box. You could plant it with ivy that doesn't go vertical, you could do a green wall. Trying to elicit some testimony from you with regard to that.
Yeah, we actually did in another package I've got, we are looking at some screen walls exactly. You probably see a lot of restaurants that have rooftop bars and stuff. They create a backdrop and a screen with ivy. Some of it's real, some of it's not. So we know we want to do some things, like that wall right there is a backdrop to hide all that mechanical. So we're looking at this area right here to give this an outdoor room with as much of that greenery as possible.
Okay,
So you can't see through it right here.
so, again, we're talking about residential uses adjacent. Would you stipulate that you will develop, because your design's not developed, it's clear, because you're not giving me a direct answer. That you'll work with the city on developing the planter scheme and the type of plantings that will go there to make sure the residents will will not be looked down upon from the 7th floor balcony.
Right, yes, we are. We're looking at also, if we can put some trellises, that also helps. And again, we can't put it too tight because of the air movement, but we are looking at areas there to cover horizontally as well as around the edges. Because really what we're trying to do is, now I understand, is the downward.
It's the view looking down.
And you see it around here probably in certain buildings, hospitals, they try to hide a lot of, because that equipment's gonna be big. We absolutely know that, and it's a sensitivity that we all know. They have to market it. They can't market that unit, that's not good for them either.
Okay.
Yeah, for the record, we recognize the privacy of the adjacent residents is just as important as the privacy of people on the terrace.
Thank you, Mr. Kelso. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
All right, any other questions?
Can you describe delivery access to the loading dock? So a food truck, a truck delivering food for the kitchen, what route does it take, and what is its access to the loading dock?
Yes, it will come in off a landing lane, make a right-hand turn. See this big swooping arch here? That allows a truck to come in, go into that point, and then back all the way up to here. Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Are you the proper person to answer questions on, access and exit? Or the delivery
Traffic and or civil, but I can, internally, I know how it works.
The question is, there will be 2 entrances and 2 exits. Each will serve both egress and exit, correct? When vehicles exit, they're required to make a right-hand turn?
Yes, right in, right out.
Onto landing lane, yes, it's gotta be right, it's just one way. in that
Eastern
direction.
Avenue?
Eastern Avenue right now is being coordinated with Middlesex County, it's under their jurisdiction. Right now, it's full movement, could the county come back and say right in, right out, possibly, and whatever the county says, we're gonna abide by.
Okay. Yeah, 'cause certain times of the day, you're just not gonna be able to.
It's a tough left certain times of the day, completely agree.
And this generator that you've been discussing, I mean, how, under the best of circumstances, like how loud is that gonna be, testing of these generators?
So just on the testing, it's typically once a week,
Yeah.
and it's 1 hour. But with the enclosures, they're designed to minimize the noise, and there's certain decibel levels that you have depending what time you test it, and we're certainly not gonna test it at night, it would be during the middle of the day. There's state noise standards that we have to follow to meet certain decibel levels at the adjacent residential structures. I don't quote the exact number, Todd, I think I'm in the ballpark, it's like 45?
45 to 50, I think, at the property line.
Okay, 45 to 50. So we will select the enclosure for the generator to meet those noise requirements. One other thing to just point out though with the generator, there is a retaining wall in that area. There's obstacle course set up for me, but the generator is actually gonna be, this area here is 13 feet lower than the adjacent properties. So it does also provide enough nice buffer from a vertical perspective too, where it's not right up against the properties, which should help with noise attenuation as well.
The delivery trucks, when they're coming, how will they access the building other than landing lane? Because they can't make a left out Eastern Avenue. So they are only gonna come down Eastern Avenue from New Brunswick?
Yeah, a lot of the deliveries are gonna be frequent deliveries in the sense that not multiple times per day, but I'll call it the similar vendors
quarterly delivering to the facility. We'll work out agreed upon routes with them, and given the turning restrictions that the county has in place now, that's the only route we're able to take. So yes, they come down east and make a right, and then follow the movement Mr. Kroll showed.
Just for the record, it's the same as what they're doing currently now to service the nursing home.
Yeah, well, you know, I mean, if you ever go through there,
Yeah.
let's
I've been
face it,
there. Yes.
many people try to make that left-hand turn, so that's what I'm just saying. Because everyone wants to beat the left turn at their lights, but I just don't want trucks doing it, because it's bad enough to begin with, but we don't need trucks doing it, all right? Any other questions, comments from the board or board professionals?
Just a quick ones. For the independent living units, can you give the board a sense of, do these tenants, are the units furnished? Or are people bringing in, moving in furniture into the rooms? How does that work? And then generally, these independent living units, are those residents going grocery shopping for themselves? Or is it sort of a daily or regular sort of movement of deliveries and things in and out of the building by themselves, or how does that typically work?
Yeah, that's why I referenced a condo, because that's many times in our urban cities where we're designing these kind of communities, they tend to come out of some of the apartments or condos that may be in the urban environment, or maybe within a 5-mile radius, they could be coming out of homes. And they're moving right from their 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom home, and they're literally moving right into the same kind of environment, just a lot smaller. They still could be driving and going places and traveling. They do that now in some of their existing communities. It's just, this will be the first time they've got actually independent living within the continuum of care. They bring their own furniture. That's why we have service elevators. So moving companies will come to the loading dock, load their furniture up to their kind of apartment, and yeah, they just happen to be, you know, looking for care for the future, a loved one that wants to be here with additional services.
Sure, and based on your experience, are these independent living tenants typically grocery shopping and cooking for themselves, or are they going to a cafeteria, and what's the
Sure,
typical, if there is a typical one? How does that work?
Yeah, well, residents have the option if they wish to drive, which you typically find even if they come in with a vehicle. And my career is all about retirement living and the multiple types of living on one campus. They traditionally transition, we provide transportation. So they'll get on a bus, just as with any of our communities now, they go on a trip or go somewhere, we will bring them to a local shopping establishment. They can either drive themselves or they can get on our bus, which we typically drive within about a 10 to a 12-mile radius. So this, they will get on our vehicle, they'll come in with their packages, come into the lobby. There's many times there's little carts there or things that we provide for them so they can bring those items to their home. They do have the option to, these apartments, they are able to have full kitchens in which if they wish to cook. I'm not gonna be that person when I go to retirement living because there is several restaurants for them to choose from. They have a bistro, they'll have a grab and go area, meals for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, as well as destination dining just on campus. So it gives them that option. Traditionally, you find residents will at least do the evening meal, potentially do, if it would be someone like myself, living by myself, I would probably pick up at least 2, maybe 3 meals a day, made by the community in which I would go get. But I do have the option in my kitchen as well. Even in assisted living, they have a little kitchenette that has a refrigerator and microwave, which is standard within the industry and to code. And then the residents can have something in there, a little light meal, or they go down and get their 3 meals a day. Does that help?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions, comments from the board or board professionals? Seeing none. Oh, thumbs up.
Yeah, am I correct to assume that there'd be significant number of like, you know, takeout, you know, deliveries to the,
Most likely, I mean, we take tremendous pride in through my history of retirement community, the takeout is from a grab and go within the community. Now, they do have the opportunity if they want to do an Uber Eats or something like that. I would tend to hope that, and through my experience, if they get those meals through the community, there's also places in which, in the restaurants, if they don't wish to come down, they'll place their order, they'll come down and pick it up, bring it to their home. So their order to go will be within the community. That's rarely see someone bring in an Uber or something, but that's possible. Most of them would be just from our full commercial kitchen that makes all the meals for them if they so wish.
Just getting at how much traffic do you expect?
Sure.
What type of, trucks constantly coming in and that sort of thing?
I will tell you from, again, my over 20 years experience just in retirement living is that they rely upon the community for all their services, their amenities, their services. They may drive maybe initially, but then we'll utilize the bus services. And we fully want to support the town of New Brunswick and open the opportunity for the residents that live there that will go down and use the theater, that will use the different establishments, maybe a trip out to the restaurants that are there. That's a destination dining within New Brunswick.
Thank you.
Any other questions, comments? Seeing none?
Just one other item I would just want to point out. Again, the facility is adjacent to Bigelow Park. And there is an expectation that the residents will have access to the park. We are in discussions with the city's administration with regard to what, if any, improvements that the city would look for us to do in the park. So it's not part of this site plan application, but we would cooperate, currently negotiating with and discussing with the city what we may want to do along that particular location. I think today they do a lot of storage there, with vehicles and other things, so there may not be a lot that the city wants us to do there, but no matter what, the residents here will have direct access into the park, like the others that are adjacent to the Park Colony House, they all have access into the park.
Thank you. Anything else?
That's it.
All right. At this time, I'd like to open up to the public. If there's anyone from the public that wishes to comment or have questions on this, please come forward.
I do. Go ahead.
Just one.
Sure.
Yeah.
I won't be long. You're still sworn in. You can, you have your 5 minutes. You can start now.
Thank you. My name is Ray Pettit. I live in New Brunswick. And I'm just a little bit younger than your target audience. I think you said close to 75. But I'm 73, so I'm getting close. But I'm a vibrant 73, and I'm excited about this, what I'm hearing about Parker. I do go to the senior center in New Brunswick, and I know you're a good partner to the senior center, so what I see here, it sounds exciting to me. I'm not ready for you yet, but it sounds like a place that I would love to move to if it's a vibrant location. You know, sometimes you go by places in Florida. I was just down in West Palm Beach, and you see some of these seniors, and they sit in front of these places, and they have nothing to do. There's nothing going on. They wake up, they eat in the common area, then they sit in front of the location. And I'm hoping that this place is not like that. That maybe you might have, I don't want to say you're going to have a pool because I didn't hear you mention that, but something for the seniors. The people that work, they have a structured day, and they know what they're going to do. They go to work, and but the other people, I do hope that their life is going to be more than just waking up and sitting in front of the location. You mentioned the park. I go to Bigelow Park several times a week. It's a beautiful park. It has tennis courts. I think it might even be a volleyball court there. I don't expect you playing softball at 75, going to 80, but there is a great park there that maybe the retirement home, the assisted living, can work in conjunction with the city. We just heard about this new restaurant that's going to be built. It's only a couple of blocks from where you guys are talking about, so maybe people can actually walk there. Maybe you might have some kind of shuttle service for them to get into the State Theater and live and enjoy New Brunswick. But again, I just hope it's not people sitting in front of the location, what I might call that thoughtsy shuffle, where they're just waiting to die. And I've not heard that from what you guys are proposing, so I'm very excited about what you're doing. Thank you.
Why am I the only person in this room that I realize fits the demographic?
No, you're not.
Okay, yes, Jeff, I forgot. Oh, yeah.
Maybe that's why they asked you to be their attorney.
That's for
Anyone
Chris.
else?
I do.
Please come forward.
move this.
Oh.
Thank you.
I was gonna say the same thing, of course.
I appreciate that. Good evening, Chair.
Okay,
Chair,
so, yes, so, okay, can you please state your name and spell your last name for the record?
My name is Jasmine. My last name is Polanco, Polanco.
Okay, do you swear or affirm to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
I swear.
Okay, you have 5 minutes.
All right, so good evening. Thank you for the time. I live directly across the street from the proposed Parker Land Lane development. I live at 318 Easton Avenue. And I do understand this is a redevelopment area, and I am not here to oppose the project. I am here just to ensure that any approval includes clear enforceable protections for the residents who already live there, I mean across the street, about 15 feet from Parker's, right? Given the size of this 14-story project, construction will be significant and long-term, right? We haven't touched on how long is this construction going to take. I am requesting that construction hours be strictly limited to possibly no work before 9 a.m. And what about weekend construction? What are we expecting during the weekends? We need to protect sleep, childcare routines, and the well-being of both young and children and older adults in the immediate area. I'm sorry guys, I'm a little nervous. English is my second language and I'm trying my best to speak as clear as I can. Noise and vibration. Will this project involve pile driving or similar high-impact activity? We need to have a formal noise and vibration mitigation plan, including from the city, monitoring and enforceable limits. Regarding traffic, we did get a very ambiguous answer with the traffic. From 3 p.m. to 6 p.m., we have more than 300 cars per hour. What are we expecting in terms of traffic with those patients and residents that are going to be constantly leaving the building? Is the route around Landing Lane going to be rerouted? I saw in your paintings that you had 2 routes. As of right now, we have only one way to turn right. Like, what's the expectation there? I'm also very, very concerned about dust and air quality because as we know, micro exposure to these elements in your older years can significantly affect your respiratory system. So what is the company going to do to have a dust control measures and for the city, how are we going to be enforcing this? I do ask the board to clearly state on the records any variances or design waivers that are being requested and how can they be justified without negatively impacting the surrounding residential community. Like just me walking out of my house and I have, 30 residents looking down at me. How is that going to feel? I really do appreciate that you thought about the residents that live right across the street from Parkers like me, 318 Eastern Avenue. If the board is inclined to approve this application, I respectfully request that these protections be included as formal conditions of approval, not informal assurances.
Let me just respond to the one item. There are no variances and there are no waivers. This is fully compliant with the redevelopment plan. I think Chris can answer several of the other items.
I may bounce around a little bit, I may miss some, but as far as the construction timeline, and you guys can chime in, it's approximately 3 years, a little bit less than 3 years. What we typically do in the city of New Brunswick, and we're doing it right now as the Helix is probably the best example, we do vibration monitoring during our deep excavation work. That includes placing vibration monitors around the perimeter of our property. There's certain threshold levels, and if those levels are exceeded, work is stopped, and that's for protection purposes. So you would never see exceedances on your property across the street. We also do air monitoring during not only demolition activities, but we'll do it for the excavation site work activities. We set up the monitors again around the perimeter site. If the particular air monitoring levels are exceeded, again, we stop work immediately, rectify the situation, and then move forward. And then the other point I heard you ask about was the noise, the hours, and the weekend work. there's standard hours in the city of New Brunswick during the week for work, and then you can request the city council to do extended work on the weekends, but that's not something we have requested for now. That would be a request if for some reason the contractor wanted to work on specific weekends, we would have to go to city council to get that approved.
All right, Chair, so I actually had an answer prepared for our, what's your name, I'm sorry?
I'm Chris.
Chris.
You have 22 seconds.
22 seconds. Construction hours. So basically, I just want the chair to, the board to look more specific into this situation, because not only do you have students, I'm a student myself, going to graduate school right now, and I work early mornings, I do have small children, and also the letter that was sent over to us, it was only sent on English. We do have a lot of Spanish-speaking people in New Brunswick that didn't really understand what this letter was about. So that's one of the reasons too why you only see people here that are speaking only Spanish. That letter should have been sent English and Spanish for 3 neighbors near me that didn't understand what was going on.
Thank you.
Let me just respond to that. We follow the law with regard to notice requirement. We actually notice beyond, in a certain area beyond the 200 feet to be safe. And it's my client's intention to comply with the city's ordinance with respect to work hours, noise limitations, and we'll comply with that. We're obligated by law to do that.
Yeah, do we know the hours for construction?
I think,
just offhand.
offhand, I think on weekdays it's 8 to 8, I think.
Okay.
And I don't know off the top of my head what the weekends are.
I think Sunday's not, right?
So I do know the hours. Sundays is at around 7 a.m.
Yeah, your time is up. But I was just trying to ask. But they will stay within the hours permitted by the city. Now, if there are times if they did want to, like, they said, they could always ask the city council for additional approval of hours, but like they said, as of now, they don't look into asking for those hours. So, anyone else from the public have any questions or comments?
Please state your name, spell your last name for the record.
Carlos Ramirez, R-A-M-I-R-E-Z.
You swear or affirm to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Your Honor, you have 5 minutes.
I want to start by saying that there is law and that there's also common courtesy for your neighbors. There's many city ordinances, laws, zoning, planning, but I think if you have neighbors and you're trying to get along with them, considering you're going to block their sun from different areas, building a huge high-rise, even the ones that are 3-4 feet tall, they will look down upon you if you're out there playing with your kids, kicking the ball, or out there in a pool. Regardless, I think it's common courtesy to send notices in no languages, not just because the law says it has to go in English. You also have people that don't know how to read, people that can't even see a paper, and need other types of methods of communication. So I think common courtesy for your neighbors would be a good start. Moving on, I want to start off by asking, has there been a full traffic impact study completed for Easton Avenue and the intersecting streets, especially during peak hours?
Yes.
And what have those studies revealed?
Pardon me?
And what has that study revealed?
Well, you can get a copy of it, just get an Oprah request to the city and they can send you a copy of the full report.
You know, it would be courteous if you provided some of that
We
insight.
provided it the way we're supposed to provide it by law. We did that, and it's on file with the city.
We'll make a request. Now, during construction, how would traffic lane closures, sidewalks, access, and pedestrian safety be managed?
They'll be managed through a development plan that is prepared by the applicant, submitted to the city, reviewed by engineering and the building department to determine whether or not it complies with the requirements, and will incorporate whatever recommendations the city may have in specific areas or locations. It's common practice with every project that's ever built.
So should neighbors expect sidewalks to be closed or part of the intersection closed for
I
big
can't-
machinery?
I can't answer that question, but I would doubt it on the other side of the street. It may be right in front of where the facility is right now? Probably.
What would be the clearance for the parking lot or the deck for vehicles to access?
I'm sorry,
The
you're talking about
clearance
the deck
for
that's being
vehicles.
proposed?
Yes, what do you plan on having the clearance set up as? You know, because I'm assuming people might have a small car or a truck or a bigger SUV.
Chris, you want to answer that?
I don't think we have an exact dimension yet, typically it's somewhere on the order of 12 to 14 feet.
Okay. Now, what would be the clearance, will there be clearance for emergency apparatuses such as ladders? You know, you can
Yes.
try to reach from the street, but within the property itself, what would be the current clearance for those apparatuses?
For a fire apparatus?
Correct.
Don't know the answer to that, but I can tell you that this application was reviewed by the fire department.
And their apparatuses, would they be able to maneuver from, there's a limited width to houses on the...
They would have full access to the entire perimeter of this building, either through the park, on Easton Avenue, landing lane, or behind the building through the access road.
I did see an aerial view. It appears that from the two main mentioned intersections, they would have clear visibility. However, limitations might be probable on the neighboring residential sites. But I do believe there's also another area that won't be accessible, and that's connecting near the park side. Am I correct?
No, I don't think you are correct.
Okay, so that means all four corners of that whole structure would have accessibility for all these vehicles.
For the fire department?
Correct.
Certainly.
Okay.
It wouldn't have been approved by the fire department if we did.
Is this structure in a flooding zone? Has there been any tests done, or is there any history?
In a what?
A flooding zone.
No, it's not in a flood zone.
Okay. Now, how many trees are planning to be removed? Will there be any replacement for that? If so, what type of tree will be put
Yes,
up?
that was testified to already.
Okay, perhaps I missed it. Can you
You probably did. Chris, you want to give it again?
Yeah, I'll look at my notes in a second, but there's 100 new trees going in. It's a mix of American hollies, giant green arborvitaes, elm trees, red maples, and dogwood trees. I think based on the amount of trees being removed, it's not a huge number of trees being removed, but given the diameter of the trees, we're required to have a replacement count on the order of 200. So what I testified to was any delta between the amount of trees we're planting compared to what's required. We typically make that up through a financial contribution to the city's tree fund, and then those trees can be planted elsewhere in the city.
Now,
That's time.
okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Anyone else in the public have any questions or comments on this application? Seeing none.
To see one other comment. Ann Swergoff, SWERDLOFF. And yes, I,
Do you swear or something to the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
yes.
You're on 5 minutes.
I just, this is just a question, because I haven't seen all of the, I haven't been paying attention to all the elevations yet. So, can you, given that this is my property, what is this again?
I'll hold this over.
I'm sorry.
Answer it.
Okay. What is this? I'm here, this is my house, right? So I'm looking at this, and this is lit up. Is this gonna be all lit up all the time?
No, some of it is during the day, there's office spaces back there, but they're more likely to be offices like at night.
Okay, and is this looks like a different, is this the same elevation, this and this? Or is this higher?
Yes.
It's just a
Yeah,
direct
same,
thing.
they're the
Okay.
same elevation.
All right, so this is 1, 2, 3 stories behind me?
From this lower level, from your house it'd be 2, because we're down a whole level.
Great, okay. That was all. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else in the public have any questions or comments on this?
I do have one more question.
No, it's your time.
Sorry, I was technically with the chairman.
Ma'am, it's one time up speaking for 5 minutes. Thank you. Anyone else? Seeing none, we're going to close the public portion of the meeting. Board discussion, anyone have anything?
Yep.
Do we have to?
Should the board act favorably, the following conditions shall apply. Compliance with the terms of the Brightview Engineering Report dated May 8, 2026. Submission of all necessary easements and or cross-access agreements for review and approval by the board attorney and city engineer prior to filing the same. Payment of a site performance bond in the amount reviewed and approved by the city engineer. Submission of a site inspection escrow deposit for the engineering inspection fees and amount calculated pursuant to Title 16.24.160. Payment of all water and sewer connection fees pursuant to Titles 13.04 and 13.08. Issuance of road opening permit from the city engineer if required. Compliance with terms of the Big Mill Planning Report dated May 6, 2026. Payment of a redeveloper fee, if applicable, to the city of New Brunswick. Mandatory monetary contribution to the city's tree preservation trust fund, amount to be required by Title 8.48. Planning review escrow funded for all anticipated post-approval reviews. Payment of any other fees due to the city of New Brunswick related to development or use of this project. Payment of all outstanding taxes and water or sewer fees. Middlesex County Planning Board approval or waiver. DNR Canal Commission approval or waiver. Freehold Soil Conservation District approval or waiver. Submit engineering site plan to comply with any changes required by the planning or engineering memos or plan amendments offered at the hearing. Submit architectural plans to comply with any changes required by the planning or engineering memos or plan amendments offered at the hearing. Execution of a Title 39 parking enforcement agreement. Voluntary waiver of the right for occupants of subject property to obtain residential or business on-street parking permits. And will work with city for plantings and planter scheme for screening from the 7th floor terrace. I don't know if that should be worded differently. Did that cover that item adequately? Okay. All utilities and other site improvements to be maintained by the applicant at the show expense. All on-site utilities to be constructed underground. All temporary encroachments into the public right of way shall require city council approval. All construction staging shall be done on site unless an encroachment allowing into the public right of way is approved by city council. Streets shall be kept clean of sediment and debris. The applicant shall cause the streets to be cleaned if directed to do so by the Director of Public Works. Tracking pads shall be installed at all construction exits. Replacement of damaged streets, curbs, and sidewalks as per the direction of the city engineer.
Was access to east, to and from Eastern Avenue in there somewhere for Middlesex County?
I mean, they have to get the Middlesex County Planning Board approval,
Okay.
which would be subsumed in that.
Yes, sir.
Dan,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I may have missed it. Did you put in, I believe the applicant did stipulate to post-construction acoustic testing if the board required it?
I did not put that in, but I will gladly read it.
Is that correct, Mr.
Oh,
Kelso?
yes.
Mr. Kelso agrees.
Wait, what's the?
Post-construction acoustical testing for the generator.
Construction, acoustical testing for the generator. Okay. Got that.
Can I have a motion?
I gotta get back to the voting sheet. Okay.
I motion. I have a second?
Second.
Carlina, thank you. Okay, Yulitza Checa,
Yes.
Carlina Melendez,
Yes.
Alex Oros,
Yeah.
Diana Lopez,
Yes.
Zach Wright,
Yes.
Bob Pardica,
Yes.
John Cox.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Other matters of interest to the public, anyone else have anything to bring to the board's attention? Seeing none, do I have a motion to adjourn? Motion. All in favor? Have a good night.
Congratulations.
This is City of New Brunswick Planning Board, meeting of May 11th, 2026, 7 p.m. Roll call.
Yulitza Checa, Carlina Melendez,
Here.
Sanford Ludwig, Alex Oros, Anthony Camioni, Diana Lopez, Zach Wright, Mike Blackwell, Frank Conini, Bob Pardica, John Cox.
Here. Public announcement.
Please be advised that those requirements of the Open Public Meeting Act have been complied with and satisfied in the annual notice which gives sufficient notice of the time, place, and conduct of all public meetings of the planning board of the city of New Brunswick have been filed with the city clerk and placed in an appropriate bulletin board in block of City Hall, 78 Baker Street, New Brunswick, New Jersey, and transmitted to official newspapers of the city of New Brunswick, namely the Home News Tribune and Trust. And that's
Salute to the flag.
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible,
previous meeting.
You should have all gotten it on Friday, Thursday. Eligible voting members who are present today are Yulitza Checo, Carolina Melendez, Alex Ormos, Diana Lopez, Brady Panini, Bob Carter, and John Fox. Motion.
Second.
Yulitza Checo? Carolina Melendez?
Yes.
Alex Ormos? Diana Lopez?
Yes.
Brady Panini?
Yes.
Bob Carter?
Yes.
John Fox.
Yes.
Thank you.
Resolution of memorialization.
All right, first up, we have 149 Livingston Ave, Sun Investors LLC. Eligible voting members, same group.
Motion.
Motion by Megan. And who seconded? Yulitza Checo?
Yes.
Carolina Melendez?
Yes.
Alex Oro? Diana Lopez? Diane Panini?
Yes.
Bob Carter?
Yes.
John Fox.
Yes. Okay, it's the New Brunswick LLC memorialization.
Same voting members.
Motion. Second.
All right. Who got that one? Yulitza Checo?
Yes.
Carolina Melendez?
Yes.
Alex Oro?
Yes.
Diana Lopez?
Yes.
Diane Panini?
Yes.
Bob Carter?
Yes.
John Fox.
Yes.
All right.
Public hearing, Sam Algar, PB 20-2509-188 Eastern Avenue. The applicant seeks to convert the existing funeral home into a sit-down restaurant with outdoor seating in the second floor banquet room. The garage portion of the existing structure will be converted into a kitchen. There will be no additions to the structure, but windows and doors will be updated and relocated. The existing access to Eastern Avenue and Gilman Street will be maintained. James F. Clark III, Esquire.
Good evening, Chairman Cox, board members, professional staff, Attorney James Parker of the firm of Clark and Edwin York, the applicant. The chairman took half of my opening statement. No additions to the structure, but there will be revisions. Doors and windows will be relocated, and this is in addition to everything the chairman just indicated. We will also have some decorative columns and some balusters. The existing accesses to Eastern Avenue and Golden Street will be maintained. We are seeking both preliminary as well as final site plan approval and 3 variances. The first variance is for impervious coverage. Currently, the site is at 91%. Although we are slightly reducing, ever so slightly, the coverage, we are still in excess of what the ordinance allows. The second variance is with respect to parking. 66 spaces are required under your ordinance, and we are proposing 52, which I would dare say has to be a record for a restaurant in the city of Brunswick. I can't think of another one that would have that many. Lastly, we require sign variances. For some reason, a sign is not a permitted use for a restaurant in this zone, although it's located along a busy Eastern Avenue corridor. That's no.
It was the freestanding
Just the sign?
It was the freestanding sign.
Okay.
Restaurant can have a sign as the type of sign.
Okay, well, there's really no location on the site where we could put a traditional two-sided freestanding sign, otherwise we'd lose a parking space. So if those of you who have been by the Boylan Funeral Home, you'll see that they have a sign which is attached to the front wrought iron fence, and that is what we propose to do as well. Size of the sign will be, I think, nominal at 5 feet by 5 feet. We have 3 witnesses this evening. First is Sam Algar, who is the owner and applicant. He will take you through how the restaurant is going to operate. He will be followed by our architect, who will give you elevations and floor plans. And finally, you will have the engineer who will take you through the site improvements. I will then finish off with a proffer to justify the variances that the applicant is seeking. That is it for the initial remarks. If anybody has any initial questions, I'll field them now.
Does any member of the board of professionals have any conflict with this application? Seeing none, go ahead.
Wonderful. Sam? We'll swear you in.
Can you please state your name, spell your last name for the record? Spell your last name for the record.
A-L-G-A-L.
Do you swear or affirm to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Sam, you're now the proud owner of the old Boylan Funeral Home property?
Yes.
And when did you purchase it?
4 months ago.
4 months ago. Keep your voice up so they can all hear.
Yes.
Okay? All right, can you tell the board your vision for the property?
Well, I'm trying to do like something outdoor seating with, open the whole place, change the whole building, make it look different than what it is now, some landscaping.
It'll be a sit-down
Sit-down
restaurant?
restaurant, yeah, and it's something fresh and
Some seating on the first floor inside?
first floor and a mezzanine.
A mezzanine on the second floor with
Second
some
floor.
additional tables?
Yes, just
And-
like the way the table is, people sit here under
Okay? And have you chosen a name for the restaurant?
Zeno,
And-
Z-E-N-O.
Okay? And what will be the cuisine?
It's gonna be like Italian fusion cuisine, a little bit to old, like European style.
Okay?
So I don't have to go with one certain cuisine.
Okay? What will be the hours of operation?
We will be open 11 to, usually 11, but let's say to 12 in case.
There's a party?
Yeah, in case we have a party, that's all.
Okay.
Usually 9:30 on the weekdays we close. Trying to do like a family restaurant.
All right? And will you be open 7 days a week?
Yes.
Okay. What will be the maximum number of employees on the site at any one time?
10, 12 people.
Okay? What can you tell the board about deliveries to the site?
Delivery?
How many would you get on a weekly basis? How many delivery trucks?
Oh, okay, the delivery truck. It's twice a week.
Okay? And what kind of vehicles will these delivery vehicles be?
A minivan. Minivan. Most of the stuff comes from Worcester, Depot, right? And Skyway. It's very close, so we bring everything daily.
Daily or?
Twice a week.
Okay, all right. Will there ever be any tractor trailer deliveries?
No. Never used.
All right. What will be the timing? What time of day will you have the deliveries come? In the mornings?
11, 10, 10:30, 11.
Okay. Will trash and recycling be handled by a private party?
Yes.
Okay. All right, and when will we schedule those pickups?
In the morning.
Before you open for business? Okay. And have you selected a sign?
Yes.
Is that the sign?
Yes.
Okay. Exhibit A1, please.
Is it 2026, what's the application number?
PB 202509.
You want this back or can I circulate it?
You may circulate. Thank you. What would be the approximate size of that sign?
5 by
5 by 5, will it be illuminated?
Yes, it might be. I'm still working on the design a little bit, but it might be.
Okay. Would it be interior illuminated? No spotlight?
No, no spot.
Okay, all right. That's all I have on direct, Mr. Chairman. He's available for questions.
Any member of the board before we address what's coming questions for this witness?
Is the anticipation that the employees will park on site, or are they going to park, like, will they be taking some of the 52 spots, or will they be parking
Probably I'll
elsewhere?
tell them to come, most of them local, so they can walk.
Okay.
Or they can, we'll see how, like, 2 come in 1 car.
We also have some staff parking that's going to be signed for employees only.
Okay, is that included in the 52?
Yes, it is included in the 52.
Okay, so it's not on top of?
Yes.
Okay, any other members? Seeing none, your next witness, please.
Call the architect. Good evening.
Can you please state your name, spell your last name for the record?
Sure, it's Nasser Almukhtar, A-L-M-U-K-H-T-A-R.
Do you swear or affirm to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do. Thank you.
Slide over.
Sure.
Okay. Did you prepare the elevations and floor plans for this project?
Yes, I
What's the date on the plans?
am. February 9, 2026.
And you personally signed those plans?
Yes.
Okay. Then the plans are entitled up at the top, proposed restaurant/banquet hall, correct?
Correct.
So is there a banquet hall any longer?
No, initially we were intending to apply for banquet hall on the 2nd floor, but we eliminated that. and now it's only a restaurant.
Restaurant seating only?
Correct.
Excuse me, Mr. Marty.
Yes.
I don't believe he is going before us. Can you have?
Oh,
him-
I'm sorry. Let's do his credentials. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so
Education and
Sure.
expertise.
So, yeah, I have a bachelor's degree in architecture. It's accredited by the National Architectural Accreditation Board. I went to NJIT. I am licensed in the state of New Jersey with a current license in good standing. I'm also licensed in New York and Pennsylvania. I've testified in front of numerous boards. I've been accepted throughout the state of New Jersey. I've been accepted in all of them as an expert witness in the field of architecture. This is my first appearance in
I didn't realize that was
Brunswick.
the first. So, I offer him up, Mr. Chairman.
We will accept you as an expert in architecture.
Thank you so much.
Can we first review the elevation that will be most visible from Easton Avenue?
Sure, absolutely. So this is the set that was presented to the board members, and it consists of 6 total sheets. First one is T01. The top facade that represents the proposed elevation, the facade that would be facing Easton Avenue. Basically, we're keeping the same footprint of the existing structure, but we are adding some some columns and some balusters to give it a different look, a little bit of a classic look. We're also, concentrating on this, which is the center of the existing mass. The proposed outdoor seating would be fully covered. This is the proposed outdoor seating, and this is a roof that we're adding. This is the existing roof, and we're adding some emphasis on the main central area of the existing structure.
Will the building height change at all?
Building height is to remain the same. And then to the bottom of the same sheet, this is the Logan Street elevation. As you can see, the lower portion, this is the garage. The floor of the garage is lower than the first floor elevation, so we are proposing to raise that floor. And this garage will be converted into a kitchen area that would be serving the restaurant. And then we have some area calculations. As I mentioned, we are not changing the footprint and the indoor seating area. However, we are proposing to add outdoor seating.
What type of finish do we anticipate for the facade?
Currently, the building is brick, so we are intent to keep that. And then we add some stone finish, and the balusters will be all the classic stone look.
Okay. Color scheme?
Mostly probably earth tone colors.
Okay, please continue.
Sure. So the second page, which is A0, this indicates the basement floor. There's some restrooms areas and storage areas. We're doing some minor demolition there. And then the first floor would be all cleared
Before
up.
you move to the first,
I'm
do we
sorry.
also have our mechanicals in the basement?
Yes.
Okay.
And then the area on the garage is unexcavated. We have labeled it as unexcavated, so it's only the existing structure. And then if we go up to the first floor, which is the lower portion, the drawing on the lower portion of sheet A01, most of the interior partitions are being demolished except for the structure. We have a steel structure, and then in between we have wood framing. So we are proposing to have an open space, clear open space, before we had some different assembly rooms, if you will. And then to the left side, we are demolishing the 3-car garage doors. There's a ramp, there's a staircase. We're demolishing all these and raising the floor to provide one level for the entire first floor.
Chairman, these plans are exactly the same ones that were submitted with the application, so I haven't asked for them to correct.
On A02, on the second floor, there was a residential unit, a very large residential unit. So again, the proposal is to demolish all the partitions there, the interior partitions, and also raise up the ceiling to have some sort of cathedral ceiling, just to provide a space. When you're sitting in a restaurant, it would be nice to have a higher ceiling, so it would be a nice decorative ceiling. On the same sheet, the proposed basement floor plan is at the bottom. This would be just some storage areas and walk-in boxes for the restaurant. So, and then on the right side, there will be just this is for the usage of the applicant. It's a private space, his own bathroom, and his own small office and storage areas.
And building mechanicals are there?
Correct. Okay. Building mechanicals are those there, and it's going to remain as a mechanical. 803 depicts the first floor plan, the proposed first floor plan. On the left side is the commercial kitchen area, and this would be accessible, will have access to the main dining room area. This will be the main entrance, and then to the outside we will have the outdoor seating, the proposed outdoor seating area, which would contain 76 seats. And then we're also proposing a small fountain there. And then as you enter, we are proposing, a nice monumental staircase. And then the central area of the first floor, the ceiling of that central area of the first floor, you are proposing to cut the floor there, so you would have a double height, double height entrance. So those sitting on the first floor will be able to see those on the upper floor, on the mezzanine, and those on the mezzanine will be able also to see those on the first floor. At the same time, we did keep the two staircases on both ends of the building, so because those are emergency exit staircases. This is not an emergency exit, this is just a decorative monumental staircase. We are also proposing to add a elevator on the left side of the building, and we're adding toilets for both sexes, for women's restroom and men's restroom.
All right, second floor.
Second floor. So all this area on the second floor will be open, so there's no seating except for the perimeter of that area. And then we're also proposing to provide restrooms for both sexes, so they don't have to go up and down. And there's also an elevator that goes up between the two floors. Also, the second floor, we're proposing to have an outdoor seating area that will contain 76 seats.
All right.
And then finally, we have the rear and the side elevation. As you can see, we're trying to do, double height windows, arched windows, just to make it look nice, as opposed to what the building looks like now. It looks very residential, so we're trying to make it look more commercial, more geared towards like a restaurant use. Those arches, those are the garage doors that would be blocked. And we're providing some overhead clear story windows to provide some natural light, and at the same time those will be solid decorative arches so that they can have any kind of equipment. At the same time they would have the light from up above. And then this is the rear elevation. There's not much change proposed on that rear elevation. It's almost very close to the front.
All right. That concludes his direct testimony. He's available.
Any member of the board professionals have a question? Where exactly is the outdoor seating going? Because I'm trying to picture it, and I know that building well, so I'm just trying to picture where is that outdoor seating being placed?
It's taking a portion of the parking lot. If you enter on Easton Ave, the entrance of the building is on the right side. So it's as you enter from Easton Ave, it's on the right side. So it would extend outside.
I think it might be easier to visualize with the engineer's testimony.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
And will there be a ADA accessible ramp, or is it beyond?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, all right. Any other questions? Seeing none, next witness, please.
We'll move to the engineer.
Thank you.
Can you please state your name, spell your last name for the record?
Yes, Adam Candio.
Last name spelled Kandil.
You swear to affirm to the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do. Also not in front of the board
So give
previously.
the board the benefit of your
Just give my
education and expertise, please.
Yeah, graduated from Rutgers School of Engineering, been in the field of civil engineering, specifically land development, for the last 21 years. I've testified in front of several boards across the state as well as this county. My license is in good standing.
Walker Luck is an expert in the field of engineering, Mr. Chairman.
We'll accept them as an expert in engineering.
Prepare the site plan drawings which are on that easel?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Tell the board the location and size of the property.
Yes, so the size of the property is 0.746 acres. The location of the site is on Easton. The back part of the site is on Gilpin Street, and the closest cross street is Bristol Street. And the property is south of Easton Ave.
And that 0.7 acres comes out to 32,500 square feet?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. What is on the property today?
Currently on the property is existing funeral home with 55 existing parking spaces.
And what does the applicant propose?
The applicant is proposing, as the architect described, is a restaurant with outdoor seating.
All right, can you take the board through the site improvements that are being proposed?
Certainly. So, well, I'll go through the bulk requirements first, just for the record. Just no change, no. Money?
We've already indicated we
Okay.
comply with just about everything. We've got one existing condition, and we are requesting 3 variances.
Okay.
Okay.
So I'm gonna pass through existing conditions very quick and then go to the site plan.
Go ahead.
So on existing conditions, just want to show the location of where that parking is going to be for the chairman's benefit. So this is the existing parking lot. There's 2 curb cuts currently on Easton. We'll be closing one of the curb cuts, and at that curb cut will be where the patio will be going over there. So there's one curb cut. We'll be relocating the curb cut to this other parking bay over here, and we'd be eliminating that curb cut to provide a patio in front of the building, and then opening up another curb cut in this bay of parking. So that's just translating it to the existing conditions. And the building, other than the modifications as per the architect, we're not doing anything else, any further expansion to the building. And there's currently 55 parking spaces. We're going to be modifying, and we're going to be also upgrading the spaces to make sure they're conforming with ADA and the new New Jersey DCA EV parking spaces. Just going on to the site plan, just going through the improvements. So it's going to be coming in from Easton, one-way circulation coming from north. Is it better if I go there? Let me go there. So one-way parking coming from north to south, and you come in through the access curb cut on Easton, one-way circulation. You can come and drop off parking and continue out to park, and exiting through the southeastern access drive. This exit on this drive is not going to be used for exiting. That's going to be used for deliveries and emergency vehicles if needed. But the main course of circulation will be coming through this drive aisle and continuing down to the southeast portion of the site and exiting from that curb cut. Will there be an automatic gate with access control there at that gate? The site, and I just want to go to this one over here. This is the site plan which has been submitted with the documents. This is sheet CO3 for reference. So we have one-way circulation. We have conforming parking spaces throughout. We have currently, so we have a total of 52 proposed parking spaces, 7 of which that are EV, 3 that are ADA, including 1 van accessible. And in addition to that, to mention, we also have 9 on-street parking that are along the frontage. So when we mark out the parking spots along the frontage, there's an additional 9. Although it's not included in the parking calculation, just notating that along our frontage, there are 9 on-site parking spaces as well. But on-site, off-site parking spaces. On-site, there's a total of 52 parking spots. Here's, in this area here is our 10 by 14 trash enclosure, which will have both recycling and trash in there. And we also are providing, so here's the patio area, and this is how it's integrated with the parking. So there's stairs over here, and there's an ADA parking, ADA ramp to allow ADA parking and ADA access to come up the ramp and into the building. And here's the elevated patio with landscaping between the parking and the patio, and also additional landscaping on Gildan Ave as well, Gildan Street, sorry. That's essentially.
You have some stacked parking for employees?
Yes, so the stacked parking is over here also by the trash enclosure, so that's stacked parking for employees. There'll be employees, it'll be known to everybody who's parking here. As the owner testified to earlier, deliveries are going to be prior to the application, prior to the opening and operation of business hours. So they'll be dealt with prior to business hours.
Location of the sign?
Location of the sign, there's an existing sign here on the on Easton Ave, which will be modified to the sign that was circulated earlier.
All right. Have you had an opportunity to review the city engineer's report?
Yes, I did.
Mr. Chairman, with your approval, I'm going to start on the middle of page 3 with the general comments and recommendations. Sure. We're only going to hit on the items that are still open and require discussion. Item number 2, can you respond to that?
Yeah, so item number 2, soil erosion and sediment control. We submitted on April 21st to soil erosion and sediment control. We did submit as part of our package showing, and that was one of the comments from engineering, to show the limit of disturbance that is reflected now in our current site plan package that was submitted, and that was submitted for approval on April 21st.
With regard to item number 3, I can tackle that, Mr. Chairman. We have obtained a letter from Delaware River Canal Commission indicating that it's an exempt application.
Okay, thank you.
And we'll provide that, obviously, to Dan. Item 10?
Yep.
Adam?
Yeah, item number 10. So item number 10, we also did a survey looking at the water and sewer, and I'm going to address both water and sewer with this one. So with regards to, I'm going to turn to sheet C04. With regards to water, domestic water, we have evaluated with our building engineer and architecture team, and the domestic water is adequate for the building, but we do need, for sprinkler, we do need a fire connection, which we will need one fire connection on Easton Ave. And with regards to sanitary, we evaluate, and also as one of the comments on engineering was to explore this 3-inch pipe in the back. That 3-inch pipe has been demolished, but there's currently an existing 4-inch pipe that goes to Easton. And based on the new improvements in the building and the new bathrooms in the kitchen, we do need another line. So that is going to be a 4-inch line. And rather than going to Easton County, that's going to come on the low side of the buildings, coming to Gildan Street on the back side. So that's not currently reflected on our drawings, but something that we will be updating on our drawings.
All right, I think that testimony hit on items 11 and 13 as well. Dan's okay?
Yeah. Just trying to try my best quietly and successfully.
All right, so that testimony covered items 10, 11, and 13. Obviously, if the city engineer wants more clarification, we can provide it. We'll move on to the next page, and item 15 They asked for the limits of disturbance to be delineated. It's on the freehold soil plans, correct?
Yes, it's part of the soil erosion and sediment control. It's on our plans, and the limit of disturbance is 7,872 and 90 square feet, 0.90 square feet.
All righty. We've already hit upon item 21, the timing of pickups for trash and recycling will not pose any type of a conflict with the use of those parking spaces. Can you touch on the grading, drainage, and utility comments, please?
Yes. So again, I touched on it. So we have our, on our cover sheet, we do have our water and sewer demands. There is an increase in demands on both water and sewer. The water is adequate for what's there with regards to domestic. The sewer is also adequate, however, for operations and functionality in the area where there is the existing garage that's being renovated that doesn't have plumbing there, so we'd be bringing a new 4-inch line to this section, again, going down to Gilden Street. We also will be providing an engineer's report for both water and sewer, stating that the last bit of information we're waiting for was the clarification on that 3-inch pipe and the 4-inch, which we did get. So we'll be finalizing that report and submitting it as a result of resolution compliance or condition.
All right, moving to item 28, there's a list of details that are requested of us, and we will comply with that request?
Yes.
And we will also comply with items 29 and 30, correct?
That's correct.
All right. I believe we've covered all the points, Mr. Chairman, and that concludes his testimony. He's available for questions.
Any member of the board or board professionals have any questions, please?
These street parking spaces that you mentioned, you intend to make those exclusive to restaurant users or no?
No.
Okay, so that's not included in the 52 spaces that you're talking about?
That's correct. Just for the benefit of the board, just wanted to bring it up.
It was informational, not proof.
Informational.
Oh, okay.
Where would the hood exhaust for the kitchen be? And where would it be located? Or should I have asked that of the architect?
Yeah, the architect would be better,
Okay.
rather than him laughing at me.
So it would just go up because the kitchen will be in the garage and it's a one-story structure, so we don't need to provide shafts or anything. We just have to go up.
And the fire suppression line, where's that gonna come off of Easton Avenue or Gilden Street?
Off of Easton Avenue.
Okay. Thank you. Anyone else?
The outdoor seating areas, which would be 2 levels, you indicated, correct?
Yes.
And these would be kind of enclosed in cooler weather and, or not, or just not used in cooler weather?
Not used very much in cold weather. It's covered, it has a roof on top, but it's open on the sides. Yes.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Sure. Any other questions, comments? Seeing none? Next witness.
The next witness is not me, it's the proffer, okay? As I mentioned, we have 3 variances and 1 existing non-conforming condition. We believe that they can be justified both under a hardship theory as well as what we call the flexible C2 analysis. That C2 analysis involves us identifying the benefits of the project, telling you if we foresee any detriments that might be caused, and then engaging in a balancing and weighing of the benefits and the detriments. You have to come to the conclusion that the benefits from the overall project substantially outweigh any possible detriments. With respect to the impervious coverage, we're slightly reducing it, but it still remains a non-conforming situation. The hardship is the site is already completely laid out. If we were to eliminate pavement, we would lose parking spaces, and we don't think that's the right alternative to go with. With respect to parking, we could demolish a portion of the building. That seems to me to be counterproductive. We could also have less seats in the restaurant. We want our businesses to thrive, and we don't think that that would be an appropriate use of the land. Keep in mind with respect to the parking demand that you do have people that will walk to the restaurant. You do have Lyft, you do have Uber, and we're going to have driverless taxis. With respect to the sign variance, The hardship is, as I mentioned previously, we don't have room on the site to have a two-way sign easily visible from traffic coming both ways on Easton Avenue. So it's going to be facing out to the street, and it needs to be a little bit bigger. With respect to the non-conforming condition, once again, the building is there. It's only 15 inches of non-conformity. So we think it's basically de minimis. Possible detriments, there will be times when the parking lot will be full. And like every other restaurant in the city, people will go for parking on the street and they'll go to our parking garages. We're not going to be in any different situation than anyone else. As to the sign, I can't conceive of any detriment. It's minimal, it's 5 by 5. We think you can comfortably conclude that the benefits from this project outweigh the detriment. And let me just back up on the benefits. What we're doing is we're going to adaptively reuse a vacant building, which is in an industry in a downsizing mode. Elaborate funerals and expensive caskets are things of the past. The new use is permitted, and we think it's going to be a benefit to the city. The last part of the weighing analysis is that we have to identify what purposes the municipal land use law will be furthered by this application. We see purpose A, which is satisfied because we think this is an appropriate use of land in a manner that will promote the general welfare. We're taking an abandoned, outmoded business and repurposing it for a permitted use. As to purpose G, we believe that this is an appropriate location, which is borne out by your zoning. It's a permitted use. Finally, we think that the variances can be granted without substantial detriment to the public good and without substantial impairment to your zone plan and your master plan. That concludes the direct case, Mr. Chairman. I'll sum up if necessary after we hear from the public.
Sure. Would your client be okay with giving up residential permit parking if there is any around that area?
Yes.
It's not residential.
Behind it, give it.
No, but I mean.
But the
their
use is
property
residential, so it
residential.
will
They wouldn't
qualify.
have a residential permit.
But don't businesses get it?
Okay, I mean, they could.
I'm just, because
The answer is
So
yes.
let's not call them residents.
oh, well, it's
But I
written,
get what you're saying, yeah.
parking permit parking. He said yes.
Yeah, okay.
All right. Any other questions from the board? Seeing none, could I open it up to the public? Anyone from the public have any questions or comments on this application? Please come forward. Seeing none? Oh, I'm sorry.
Barbara McEachin, 7 Livingston Avenue.
Hold on, I have to swear you in. Can you spell your last name for the record?
Burton.
Do you swear or affirm to the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Wait 1 second, you have 5 minutes starting now.
Okay. Will there be a liquor license? I didn't hear anything about alcohol beverages. No, sir. No liquor license.
It's a bring your own.
It's gonna be bring your own. And why would they need residential parking? They have 52 spaces.
Well, they're foregoing it. They're waiving their rights to it, so they won't be,
Okay.
yeah.
How many of those 52 will be handicapped?
3.
Okay. That's all my questions.
All right, thank you. Anyone else from the public have any questions or comments?
Can you please state your name, spell your last name for the record?
Ray Pettit, P is Peter, E-T-I-T.
Do you swear or affirm to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
You may begin.
Thank you. I live in New Brunswick, very excited to live here, and I'm very interested in knowing if this is going to be an upscale restaurant, if it's, what kind of clientele do you anticipate? Is it going to be like the old La Fontana's that we had on 27 that I thought was somewhat upscale, a great place to bring a date on a Friday night? Or is it going to be something for the college kids, maybe on the low end that might be a little noisy? I'm just kind of very interested in how is this going to change or maybe even enhance New Brunswick?
Sam, if you could tell the board and this gentleman, what's your target patron?
My target is everybody. It's middle class, upper class. My prices will be arranged from $30 to $35. Like, it's not that much compared to the downtown. So I'm trying to get everybody to go in. And we have a lot of people from the family of the student, they come in. We have a lot of people from Rutgers, they come in. Both the student and also the hospitals, Johnson & Johnson. So it's gonna be upper middle class.
Yes, that answers my question. At $35 a plate, I see it as being a
The
little bit on the
max, yeah.
pricier side, which brings in maybe a little bit of an upscale clientele.
That's the max 35, I'm saying. It's like, start with the 20s and go to 35.
And you save the money by bringing your own
Yeah.
wine in. Okay, that answers my question. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else from the public? Seeing none, close the public portion.
I think I can forego a summation, Mr. Chairman.
All right, thank you. Board discussion, anyone have anything? Dan, can we have the conditions?
Yeah, 1 second.
Please.
All right, should the board act favorably, the following conditions shall apply. Compliance with the terms of the city engineering report dated March 4th, 2026. Payment of a site performance bond in an amount reviewed and approved by the city engineer. Submission of a site inspection escrow deposit for engineering inspection fees in an amount calculated pursuant to Title 16.24.160. Water and sewer connection fees, payment of all water and sewer connection fees pursuant to Titles 13.04 and 13.08. Issuance of a road opening permit by the city engineer if required. Compliance with the terms of the city planning report dated March 10th, 2026. Planning review escrow funded for all anticipated post-approval reviews. Payment of any other fees due to the city of New Brunswick related to development or use of this project. Payment of all outstanding taxes and water or sewer fees. Middlesex County Planning Board approval or waiver. DNR Canal Commission approval or waiver. Freehold Soil Conservation District approval or waiver. Submit engineering site plan to comply with any changes required by the planning or engineering memos or plan amendments offered at the hearing. Submit architectural plans to comply with any changes required by the planning or engineering memos or plan amendments offered at the hearing. Execution of a Title 39 parking enforcement agreement. Trash and recycling to be collected by private hauler. Waiver of on-street parking rights. All utilities and other site improvements to be maintained by the applicant at their sole expense. All on-site utilities to be constructed underground. All temporary encroachments into the public right-of-way shall require city council approval. All construction staging shall be done on-site unless an encroachment allowing into the public right-of-way is approved by city council. Streets shall be kept clean of sediment and debris. The applicant shall cause the streets to be cleaned if directed to do so by the Director of Public Works. Tracking pads shall be installed at all construction exits. And replacement of damaged streets, curbs, and sidewalks as per the direction of the city engineer.
Did you put in there about the
permits? Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry. Do I have a motion?
I'll move for approval with the conditions and with the variances.
Phillips Checo?
Yes.
Carolina Melendez?
Yes.
Alex Soros?
Yes.
Diana Lopez?
Yes.
Zach Wright?
Yes.
Meg Janini?
Yes.
Bob Cardica?
Yes.
John Cox?
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Next application, Peter from Atlas, PB 2026-04-338 Mountain Street. The applicant is seeking preliminary and final site plan approval and use and parking variance relief in order to construct a 4-story, 4-unit residential dwelling. Each unit containing 2 bedrooms. 4 parking spots are proposed. JMS Parking III, Esquire.
So I just want to say, hold on, I just want to say that my staff person did this, and she must have used an old letter of principal points, because they don't have a use variance anymore.
Okay.
That's why we're here, not the zoning board. I just want to be very clear about that.
Yes.
Yeah, that like perked me up. Okay, sorry about that. Please continue.
James Parkin, and then from Parkin, and John, Mr. Chairman. Application to construct a 2-story, 4-unit dwelling on the subject property, which is currently vacant and in one of your C-1 zones. Each proposed unit will have 2 bedrooms, 4 parking spaces are being provided. We are seeking your approval together with 2 variances. First variance is for parking, 8 spaces are required, as I said, 4 are proposed. The second variance is for the setback of the HVAC units. Required is 10 feet and proposed is 6. On the positive side, the application meets all of the bulk and setback standards, as well as building and height coverages and floor area ratio. We have 2 witnesses this evening. The first is our engineer, Ron Sadowski, who will review the proposed site improvements. The second one will be Bill Doran, who will go over the floor plans and elevations. I will then give you a proffer to justify the variance relief. That's it in a nutshell.
Does any member of the board or board professional have any conflict with this application? We'll call Bill Doran first.
Mr. Clark?
I'm sorry. Our one board member was gonna.
We saw the form.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not. Yep.
Only one of 8.
Okay.
Okay, please go ahead.
Can you please state your name, spell your last name for the record?
William Doran, D-O-R-A-N.
Do you swear or affirm to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
You're on.
Mr. Doran, you have been before this board before, correct?
Many times.
Have your credentials changed in any way?
They have not.
And your license is still in good standing?
Yes.
We'll accept you as the next witness.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Did you prepare the elevations and floor plans for this application?
We did.
You're familiar with the site? Have you visited it?
Yes.
Okay. Applicant is proposing a 2-story structure?
Yes.
Okay. Can you take the board through the elevations and the floor plans, please?
Sure. So this building is a 2-story, 4-unit building, approximately 3,300 square feet. There are 4 units with 2 bedrooms each. Each bedroom is designed to have 1 occupant. The rest of the unit will have a kitchen, living, dining area, and a bathroom, all of which will be large enough to meet the required living space that the ordinance requires. The building itself, along with each of the units, will be on the first floor, will be ADA compliant. The building will be fully sprinklered. There'll be a partial basement underneath the center of the building that will be for utilities and some minor storage. The height of that basement will be 6'10". On the exterior of the building,
Once again, Mr. Chairman, the plans are the same that he's testifying from as was submitted with the application.
Okay, thank you.
What is the revision date on those plans?
12/16/25. We do have a colored rendering. Can I pass?
And you generated it?
Yes.
Okay. We'll give, I'll take them all but one.
I believe that would be A2.
Now it'll be A1 for this application.
Oh, I'm sorry, you're right.
Thank you. We'll give a moment to circulate them.
Mark 1.
When it comes your way is the middle structure in the rendering.
So this is a residential area. We've designed the building to conform, to blend into that, have a residential feel to it.
Go ahead.
The, on the front facade will be a combination of stone, beaded board, and hardy plank siding with some, not beaded board, board and batten siding, with some board and batten accents in the gable facing the front. The color scheme will be a light gray and with white contrasting trim. The height of the building is 26'3", which is under what is required.
Anything else to add, Bill?
No, that's it.
He's available for questions, Mr. Chairman.
Any member of the board or board professional have any questions for this witness?
What is the siding on the rest of the building?
Vinyl.
In the rear also?
Yes.
Any other questions? Seeing none, next witness.
We'll call Mr. Ron Sadowski, our engineer.
Can you please state your name, spell your last name for the record?
Ronald J. Sadowski, S-A-D-O-W-S-K-I.
Do you swear or affirm yourself a host within the country?
I do.
Mr. Sadowski, you have been before this board before, correct?
Yes, I have.
And have your credentials changed in any way since last time you came before this board?
No, they have not.
And is your license still in good stead?
Yes.
I will accept you as an expert in engineering.
Thank you.
What you have on the board is a slightly colorized version of what was submitted with the application.
That is correct.
All right, I guess we can mark it
A2.
A2. All right, first, what's the size of the property and its location?
It's, the location of the property is at the southeasterly side of Towson Street. It's 5,000 square foot in area, 50 foot in width, and 100 foot in depth.
Does it meet the requirements for lot area width and depth in the zone?
Yes, it does.
Okay. What's on the property today?
It's a vacant lot.
Okay. What does the applicant propose?
A 2-story, 4-unit apartment building.
Take the board through the site improvements that are being proposed.
Okay, what we are proposing is a 16-foot, it's actually 18-foot wide paved area with a 2-foot stripe buffer between the building and the parking lot, or the parking spaces, I should say. It's 4 stacked spaces, 2 and 2 behind them, that would back out onto Towson Street. We have a ADA ramp for access to the rear building, the rear units, and the stair tower to take you to the upper floor. There's lighting in the back just for the recycling and the trash area. We have landscaping, foundation landscaping, a street tree, and a row of trees in the back property line. We also have white vinyl PVC fencing along the side yards and the rear property yard or line. We have underground drainage in the rear yard to compensate for the increase in impervious coverage that will be introduced to the property. Utilities will tap off of the existing, which is in Townsend Street, underground gas, underground water, underground sanitary sewer, above ground electric and telephone. The drainage patterns, the grading, it will be similar to what's there today, and we are eliminating any runoff onto the adjacent properties. We have refuse and recycling areas in the rear yard, or outside of the rear yard, but behind the building, with a concrete area for access from the building.
Have you had an opportunity to review the city engineer's report?
I have.
Mr. Chairman, once again, with your consent, we'd like to start on page 3, general comments and recommendations. Right, number 1.
We will provide a response letter outlining all of the changes as required.
Okay. With respect to item 2, don't you have the calculations about maximum building height?
Yeah,
on the plan?
the cover drawing in the bulk schedule, I showed 35.25 feet as the building height, where 40 is the maximum permitted.
All right, item 3, as a condition of the hopeful approval, will we show the limits of the proposed trench work?
Yes.
All right. With regard to item 4, can you explain how a resident can leave the structure?
There are 2 locations through the front entrance for the front unit, and then also, again, we have the side buffer between the building and the parked cars, which then leads to a landing and a set of stairs up to the rear unit and then the 2 units on the second floor.
Alrighty. Comment 6 is with respect to the stacked parking. From your perspective, better zoning alternative than not to have the stacked parking?
That is correct, yes.
All right. With respect to item 7, how are we going to handle getting the refuse containers to the curb?
The refuse containers will be wheeled to the front and picked up on Townsend Street.
by the individual residents themselves?
They will be wheeled out there by the individual residents, yes.
Will there be room to move these out with the vehicles in the driveway?
Yes, there will be.
Moving to page 4, with respect to drainage and runoff and climate concentration, will you prepare an updated report?
Yes, I will.
And we would do that as a condition of the hopeful approval, Mr. Chairman. Landscaping plan, just foundation plan.
Foundation planting is a street tree, as I had mentioned earlier, on Townsend, and then a row of 6 trees to buffer the building in the back.
And I would note for the record that your planner was satisfied in his report with respect to the landscaping proposed, as well as having no issue with the lighting plan being made. Item 18.
Item 18, we will seek freehold soil approval as a condition of approval.
All right. And with respect to the logistics plan, we can handle that.
Yes.
You recognize a pre-construction meeting as necessary, as well as all other necessary governmental approvals?
Yes.
And furnishing of bonds?
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, that concludes his testimony. He's available for questions.
Any member of the board or board professionals have any questions for this witness? Seeing none, you next witness.
All right, that's me. Time to justify the variances. All right. There were 2 of them. Once again, I'm not going to repeat the C2 analysis and the weighing of the benefits and detriments. We will identify the benefits. We believe that it's responsible infill development of a vacant lot, which is not contributing to the city's tax base. We will be eliminated dumping ground for trash. We're providing residential housing. As we all know, this state and this region has a sore need for additional residential units. Possible detriment, there may be times when there's a tenant that won't be able to park, except on city streets or garages. But once again, we contemplate that many of the residents here will not be owning vehicles. They have the availability of goods and services close by to them, as well as public transportation. We think you can conclude that the benefits substantially outweigh any detriments. We have 3 purposes in municipal land use law, which we think that we are meeting. We satisfy the appropriate use of lands, and we promote the public and general welfare, taking a vacant lot and developing it for permitted use. Item C, we are providing adequate light, air, and open space, and that's proven by the fact that we are not seeking any setback variances, coverages, or height variances. With regard to item G, it's an appropriate location for residential use. It's an entirely, mainly residential area for the center of this block. Once again, no impairment to the zone plan, no detriment to the public good. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, at this time I'd like to open it up to the public. If there's anyone from the public that has any question or comments on this application, please come forward. Seeing none, I'm going to close the public portion. Mr. Pugh, you want to do a closing?
I do not.
All right, board discussion, anyone have anything? Seeing none, Dan, if you were to approve.
Should the board act favorably, the following conditions shall apply. Compliance with the terms of the city engineering report dated March 9, 2026. Payment of a site performance bond that is not reviewed and approved by the city engineer. Submission of a site inspection escrow deposit for engineering inspection fees in the amount calculated pursuant to Title 16.24.160. Payment of all water and sewer connection fees pursuant to Titles 13.04 and 13.08. Issuance of a road opening permit from the city engineer if required. Compliance with terms of the city planning report dated March 17, 2026. Planning review escrow funded for all anticipated post-approval reviews. Payment of any other fees due to the city of New Brunswick related to development and use of this project. Payment of all outstanding taxes and water or sewer fees. Middlesex County Planning Board approval or waiver. Freehold Soil Conservation District approval or waiver. Submit engineering site plan to comply with any changes required by the planning or engineering memos or plan amendments offered at the hearing. Submit architectural plans to comply with any changes required by the planning or engineering memos or plan amendments offered at the hearing. Did we do anything about parking, permit parking?
Well, they were in the plan review comments. It's says, will applicant voluntarily waive right to parking permits in the area?
For the record, yes.
Thank you.
Voluntary waiver of the right of occupants of the subject development to obtain residential/business on-street parking permits. All utilities and other site improvements to be obtained by the applicant at their sole expense. All on-site utilities to be constructed underground. All temporary encroachments into the public right-of-way shall require city council approval. All construction staging shall be done on-site unless an encroachment allowing into the public right-of-way is approved by city council. Streets shall be kept clean of sediment and debris. The applicant shall cause the streets to be cleaned if directed to do so by the Director of Public Works. Tracking pads shall be installed at all construction exits, and replacements of damaged streets, curbs, and sidewalks as per the direction of the city engineer.
Can I get a motion?
Motion?
Second.
Rhoda Pacheco?
Yes.
Evelyn Melendez?
Yes.
Torres?
Yes.
Dana Lopez?
Yes.
Megan Carney?
Yes.
Al Cardica?
Yes.
John Cox?
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Adios.